Hello students, how are you? I am Parv Gupta, your tutor. Welcome to video number 11. Today we will be learning about NTP, time server based clock. We will be getting time from an NTP online server and displaying it onto our display from the web interface. So let's get started. Initially, what we need to do is in the include library menu, manage libraries, and then we need to search a library. Libraries are think of as a combination of resources that our codes need help from. These libraries provide us with all the backend data that our codes need in order to run smoothly and in order to help us program easily. So here we will be using one is the wire library, the NTP client library, and the Wi-Fi library. So all the libraries are pre-installed in your Arduino IDE. However, you need to install this NTP client library, which is available on the Arduino library manager. You just need to search NTP client, download this version of Fabrice Weinberg that's available. Currently I'm installing version 3.2. maybe you could get a better version. So once you install the library, you need to program this code into the microcontroller. So let's see how the code works. So here in the line number 1 we are declaring the wire library that we are using in order to run our display through the I2C communication port. Then we include the Adafruit GFX library and Adafruit SSD 1306, that are the libraries for the display itself. Then we move on to setting the width and height of the display, that is 128 pixels by 64 pixels, and then we initialize the display with screen width, height, and wire library. Here -1 means that there is no reset pin. So next we move on to the line number 9, 10, and 11, where we define the ESP8266 Wi-Fi.h, that is the Wi-Fi library, the NTP client library that is getting the time from NTP time server and giving it to our own microcontroller. Here we have got the Wi-Fi UDP library too. Next we initialize our Wi-Fi SSID and password. Then we initialize the Wi-Fi NTP library and the NTP client server, that is pool.ntp.org, that is the universal time server. So we move on to defining the string, that's weekdays and month strings. Then we can move ahead in the void setup part, where as you can see we have declared the serial begin port. We are initializing the display with white color. Then we are moving on to the SSID and password and trying to connect to the Wi-Fi and waiting every 500 milliseconds to check if Wi-Fi is connected or not. Then we begin the time client library and the most important line, that is the line number 44. Here we declare a time offset. Now we know that from the universal time our time is about 5.5 hours ahead. So we need to multiply it from 5.5 into 3600, that is 3600 for the seconds and 5.5 for the hours, that we are ahead 5.5 hours. Next let's move on to the void loop part. Here we have initialized the void time client.update. So as you can see we are getting the time from using the syntax in the library itself, that is get time client epoch.time. Then we get formatted time and we print it, and similarly we get different all characters from line number 56, 60, and 64, like get hours, get minutes, and get seconds, and we try to print it on our serial monitor. Next we move ahead and get the date, which day of the week it is, and we get similar stuff like epoch time. We calculate what's the month, name, date, and year in order to get the data and store it in a string in line number 92. And moving further ahead we make sure that all our data that we have collected is now being printed. So we are using line number 99 to 110 in order to get the data to our display. Now we clear the display out of any text that's before it, and we set the text size to 2. We set the cursor level, that is 10 pixels on the x-axis and 0 pixels on the y-axis. We print web clock and we go for the display.set cursor to 15 and 50, print the current date, and then we print the formatted time onto the next cursor level. And then we using the line number 110 we print the display.display. That's how we use it. So let's try to run the code and see how it works. So as you can see on the display, OLED display, we are getting the time that says web clock and 21 by 16 by 54, that's the time currently. And the date, that is 9/2/2021, and all the data that you can see on the OLED display is also visible on the serial monitor, and even detailed data is visible on the serial monitor itself. So here comes your clock. You can even just, instead of powering off your laptop or some USB port, you can just use a 6-volt battery connector and set it up as a clock. That's always correct and always matched with the internet, thus providing you exact time. So students, this was it for this project. Hope you like it. We'll meet next time with another project.